Obviously, it was a big weight cut for him. He's obviously getting bigger, growing. I think it's a good move for him. I just think it's bad timing.
Best MMA guys. But yeah, I think it's pretty underrated. I think a lot of people just think he'll be able to hold me down. But yeah, I think I got some tricks to get up.
Jack Della Maddalena has issued a warning to Islam Makhachev, saying the jump to welterweight could seriously backfire. Tension is rising fast as both men gear up for a career-defining clash. Fight week has barely begun, yet betting lines are already heavily favoring Islam. But analysts like Luke Thomas insist this matchup isn't as simple as the odds suggest. Media hype and huge support for Makhachev have tilted the numbers, but many believe this fight will be far tighter than the betting markets show.
I think that there's starting to be a lot of people that are just sort of, there's been a lot of Makhachev boosters in the media. You're hearing a lot of stories. I saw, for example, Ali's obviously advocating for his guys, but more than that, I saw, this is one example, but I'm saying this kind of thing is happening a lot. So Punahele Soriano did an interview with Mike Bond. Did you see it?
No.
So it was funny. He was saying one time, this was during the pandemic, he was rolling up to Extreme Couture and he had no one to train with for whatever time.
Luke broke down why Islam is such a massive betting favorite, pointing to his proven power, dominance, and reputation in training. He highlighted examples of Islam overwhelming bigger sparring partners, proving how tough he is to handle. Thomas said JDM's quieter media presence also plays a role in why the odds appear so one-sided.
I got no one to train with. They're like, oh yeah, we'll send Islam to go. And he was a full, Soriano at the time was a full 85er. And he said Makhachev just fucking murdered him for 2 hours. He couldn't do anything to him. He was like, I'm an 85er and this guy's a 55er. I can't do shit to this guy. And you're hearing I've just noticed there's a lot of that happening going out there. And the other part too is I don't know how the odds makers ultimately, what evidence they cobble together to make their odds. But the fact that JDM he's not like a big media star. I know he's done some stuff, particularly in Australia. I know he had an interview out with Izzy recently.
Expanding on Luke's take, Demetrius Johnson praised Islam's complete skill set. Elite striking, wrestling, and submissions all wrapped together. He said Islam is dangerous in every area of MMA and becomes even more effective without the brutal lightweight cut. Moving up to welterweight, Johnson argued, could make him even sharper.
Now, the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world because I feel like he can do everything. He can strike, he can kick, he can grapple, he can throw judo, he's got great submissions. He knows where he's good at, great training. And now he's going up to 170 where he's going to be healthy. He doesn't have to worry about the weight cut, and he doesn't have to worry about draining his body to make that weight cut.
Looking back at past fights, Johnson explained the ground positions that Islam thrives in. He stressed that if Jack gets taken down, keeping strong posture is absolutely vital. One mistake can open the door to a choke, and Islam rarely lets those chances slip. Fighters preparing for him spend most of their time defending these exact sequences.
Islam's head or his hips, I have to come up like this. That way when he tries to come and choke me, he can't get past this position, which is against his hips. So that's the biggest thing that he needs to do. If JDM gets taken down, he cannot wrestle up. If he wrestles up, it's going to be curtains, and Islam is probably going to get that choke like he did here. He pushes him away, comes up, gets it, wraps it up, and he's got it. There's literally nothing you can do. Once they get that, it's pretty much curtains.
Picking up from Johnson's breakdown, Rampage Jackson and Luke Rockhold echoed that Islam's combination of wrestling, grappling, and striking makes him a nightmare matchup. They emphasized that his technical understanding and ability to adapt mid-fight are major reasons he's been so dominant.
We'll see what happens. And if he gets this shot against JDM in the middle of the octagon, he's probably going to succeed with that takedown. I think JDM and Craig Jones, they know that, and they're preparing for like, what do we do if we get taken down in this space? This space right here is good. If Islam tried to take it down here against the cage, he'll most likely have a harder time. But if he's able to get it down here, he'll get the takedown, and then he's going to try to force JDM to wrestle up, get the head and arm, and look for the choke.
Rampage recalled sparring with Islam, describing his surprising strength and non-stop pressure. They also pointed to Islam's striking improvements, including his knockout of Volkan Ozdemir. The shared message was clear. Makhachev is versatile, composed, and able to switch styles depending on what the moment demands.
Makhachev, your relationship with him, and why do you think he is so dominant as a
Back
fighter?
to wrestling versus jiu-jitsu. You have a dominant wrestler that has jiu-jitsu. I knew everyone's like Charles Oliveira is good. He ain't that good when it comes down to world-class jiu-jitsu, world-class grappling.
You don't think Charles Oliveira is good jiu-jitsu?
World-class. I'm talking world-class grappling, not MMA class grappling. He don't have it comparably to a guy like.
Adding to the discussion, Tim Welch and Joe Riggs focused on Islam's move to welterweight, noting he now walks around near 195 pounds. They said this added size brings new challenges for Jack, while also raising questions about how the extra weight might affect Islam's cardio and pacing on fight night.
He get dominated, just like he did. Like he didn't have a chance in hell. People thought like he could submit him. No, he can't.
Rampage, what do you think made Islam Makhachev so good and still makes him so good, especially with him moving up a weight class now?
I've never seen him fight. I've never seen not one of his fight.
Wrestling, man. Wrestling, grappling, striking. Islam always had
When
it
did
all.
you meet Islam?
I think I used him for like my Machida camp back in the day.
They also compared the fighters' physical traits and styles, explaining that Islam's extreme lightweight cuts may have held him back in the past. At 170, he may finally perform at full capacity. But both fighters must make big strategic adjustments. Preparation, positioning, and adaptability will be the keys once the cage door shuts.
Scary, man. So I'm excited for this fight, man, because JDM's big though. Like he's not. I don't think people realize that. You know, it's one thing talking about the stylistic matchup, but this is genuinely, you know, Islam going up to a different weight class for the first time in his career. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how his cardio holds up, bulking up that much, like going up a weight class. I'm sure that changes how you train. But yeah, I'm super excited. It looks like a good fight.
Yeah, because Islam said in the past, he says after those weight cuts to 155 pounds that he's probably at 60% when it comes to going into the cage.
Following Welch's analysis, Joey highlighted Jack Della Maddalena's strong win streak and his big victory over Belal Muhammad, which launched him into title contention. He contrasted this with Islam moving up without the usual weight cut struggle. Joey said the size matchup alone makes this a compelling and unpredictable showdown.
Unbelievable fighter. It says, I don't know.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can you're not cutting that much weight, you could be stronger. But again,
For
Islam versus JDM. JDM probably walks around 200, 205 pounds. He's a real welterweight. God, I'm pumped for that fight. That is probably one of the fights I'm most pumped for. And if Islam stays at 170, who knows? Usman says he wants the title for shot. He wants the winner of that fight, which is sweet too. But welterweight, I'm pumped to see Islam at welterweight because I do think he's going to stay there. I don't think he's going to go.
He also broke down the stylistic clash, Islam's suffocating grappling versus JDM's sharp, dangerous boxing. Joey questioned how Islam will adjust if he can't control Jack on the mat, and whether JDM's scrambling, speed, and striking could put the Dagestani star in real danger, especially with submission threats flying from both sides.
On a crazy long win streak. He beat Belal Muhammad, who was on a crazy long win streak, to win the title in one of the best fights of 2025, arguably the fight of the year in my opinion. That gets no respect. And then you have Islam Makhachev, who's dominated the lightweight division for a while. He's decided he wants to move up. He no longer has to cut weight. We don't know truly, even Islam doesn't know, truly how much he has hindered himself by cutting down to 155. And now he doesn't have to cut that extra 15 pounds. He's putting on weight. He looks massive now.
Joey then discussed what's at stake. A win for Jack could skyrocket his star power, while Islam capturing a second belt could cement his legacy, possibly even set up retirement talks. He also mentioned future welterweight matchups and called UFC 322 one of the most stacked cards in years. This outcome could reshape the whole division.
Savage, nasty body shots, good boxing, but you can't forget, people forget this, Islam Makhachev is one of the best strikers in the UFC. Now, a lot of that is predicated on the takedown threat. So that's where this fight gets super interesting, because if Islam can get JDM down but can't control him, JDM's not going to be fearful of the takedown threat. And so therefore, JDM's able to get off a lot more on the feet. So that's where it's going to be really interesting. And then also, Islam, he's nasty. He can lock up a sub in a split second.
In the end, the showdown between Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev is shaping up to be a major moment in MMA history. JDM brings a dangerous streak in dynamic striking, while Islam enters with elite grappling, polished striking, and the freedom of fighting without a brutal cut. Fans are eager to see how Islam handles welterweight and whether the added size works for or against him. With both fighters carrying momentum and massive stakes, this matchup promises not just action, but career-defining moments that could shape the welterweight division for years to come.